Hi guys, it's Dr. C here, and at this point you probably just finished watching the video. Is an online public speaking class right for you? And either you came to the conclusion that the answer to that question is yes, or you want a little bit more information, which is why you're here. So I want to be clear with you in regards to both the expectations, the assignments, and the commitment that's going to be required from you in order for you to be successful in our short summer course. Now, I think it's important to start with the fact that our time together is going to be brief, about 5.5 weeks. Now, public speaking is normally taught over a full semester, which is going to be about 16 weeks. That's good for me as a public speaking professor because I can start with the basics of communication. We can talk about what makes speeches successful and what makes someone a good public speaker before you actually dive into your speeches. So in that scenario, you actually wouldn't give your first speech until about week 7 or 8. Now, 5.5 weeks together, you know your first speech is going to be due a lot sooner than that. In fact, it's going to be due this week. Now, don't be scared. Don't let that run you off from the class. It's going to be an easy first introduction speech. But I do want to be clear in regards to the assignments and the expectations that are going to come in our short 5.5 weeks together. So you're going to average a speech every 5 to 6 days. So about a speech a week. For our class. In addition to that, there are going to be video lectures, there are going to be online assignments that are going to be required from you from the McGraw-Hill Connect, and you'll see all of that information online. And there are also going to be discussion forums and posts on our Facebook page, which I'm going to ask you to take part in. Once you give your speeches, you'll have some additional components and assignments that are going to be required from you. You'll have to provide feedback in regards to yourself. You also have to provide feedback to your peers, both in a written form and on the Facebook page. So it's going to be a lot of work. The commitment that's going to be required from you is going to be on a daily basis and probably about 2.5, maybe 3 hours a day of work in order to be successful in this class. That is a big time commitment, but I'm sure you're smart students. You were all aware, 6-week class, a 6-week public speaking class is going to be very rigorous in regards to the information that we're going to have to do in a short time. I do want to end by talking very briefly about one of the major issues that I've often seen with students in an online public speaking class, and that is the issue of an audience. Texas law requires for any public speaking class to be taught online. For you to receive credit for that, there has to be an audience. So for every speech you give, you must have an audience of 5 adults. They can't be kids, they can't be cats, they can't be dogs. You have to have 5 adult audience members. It's the number one thing that I often see students have issues with. Because that Texas law is in place, if you don't have those audience members, your speech won't actually be reviewed. I won't actually watch it. I'll start it. If I don't see 5 audience members present, I'll simply send you a note and say, unfortunately, it doesn't meet the requirements for the audience. This speech was not reviewed, and you're going to earn 0 points for that speech. So you can imagine it can be quite detrimental to your grade. So you've got to have 5 audience members. If you're local here in Texas or here in the Houston area, I give you the opportunity to get together with other students and meet, and I'll actually provide you feedback and do that. That is not a requirement. You can do all of your speeches and assignments online and never set foot in Houston or on campus, but I do give you that requirement. Otherwise, you have to figure out, do I have 5 audience members? Can I find 5 adult audience members in order to meet that requirement? Students often think an online public speaking class is much easier, but it actually isn't, and that's one of the key components that can make it more difficult. Is in a physical class, your audience is there in front of you. In the online class, you have to find that audience and make sure that they're there. So if you stick with it, if you put the time and the commitment into it, we're going to have a successful term together. If any of these things are concerns or you need more clarification or questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly via the information on my syllabus, and I'll be happy to address those concerns. Otherwise, I look forward to having you in our short summer public speaking class.